you're very vocal these days about the pricing situation within your industry. You've been critical of other carriers, and you've launched a marketing campaign to that effect. Let's have a little listen to one of the clips.
We're Unbundle and Unbundle, and we're here to help. If you or anyone you know has ever been a victim of airline bundling, then you may be entitled to a cash reward.
Just calculate the money you could save at unbundlers.com and demand those airlines
Give you your money back.
Okay, Ben, obviously having some fun with it there, but this issue of unbundling, I think a lot of people would agree with you, but I feel like that's happened already. I mean, I'm paying for baggage fees. I've got to pay for my food. I've got to pay for, seats that I want on the plane. Haven't we already done this?
Well, it's you've done it to some extent, but you're also still paying for food that you may or may not eat, and magazines you may or may not read, and Wi-Fi you may or may not use, and things like that. So we're not asking for other airlines to change their business practices. We just want everyone to be super transparent about it. At Spirit, we like to let everyone know exactly what they're getting, pay for what they want, not pay for what they don't want. And if an airline says they're giving you free bags, what they really should say is you're paying for 2 bags in the price of your ticket. And that's what we think is a fairer way than saying the bags are free, because they're not really free. So we like the idea of just everybody being really transparent about the pricing, not that we want everybody to do what Spirit does.
Ben, be transparent for us. This is a question that has been baffling a lot of us. Airlines are facing much lower fuel costs. Profits are great for you guys, but the flying public is more miserable in some ways than they've ever been. Even your airline gets low customer satisfaction rates. Why aren't we seeing lower prices? Has there been too much capacity taken out of the system?
Well, I think you got to look at Spirit versus everyone else. About 6 months ago or so, our average fare was just over $82. We just announced our second quarter earnings, and our average fare was about $69, 68 and change. And so the reality is we have lowered our fares with lower fuel prices. Some in the industry have done that. Some have sort of kept it to produce higher than average margins for them. So I think, the industry expects to be able to raise fares when fuel prices go up. I think it's only fair that we pass some of those savings on to consumers when the fuel prices go down. That's exactly what Spirit has done.
Ben, I want to ask you about something else that's been worrying the flying public. We're starting to get reports from some of the regional carriers that we may be facing a pilot shortage down the line, that there are just not enough pilots in the pipeline. Is that something you're concerned about?
Well, we don't see that happening at Spirit at all. In fact, we see we're hiring a lot of pilots right now because we're growing pretty quickly. We're growing at a clip of a little over 20% a year on average. And we're finding our pilot classes are oversubscribed with good quality, experienced pilots. What Republic may see is in the regional business, they have a little different standard for the pilots they hire, and maybe their pay rates are a little bit different. So it's very possible that that airline is seeing a challenge in recruiting pilots, but a lot of it is because pilots want to work at airlines like Spirit that are growing and flying bigger airplanes.